Good evening, everybody. It's another Tuesday night at Show and Share. I'd like to start us off by saying, hi, Dodie. Hi. Okay, now for the rest of us that are in the classroom, we're going to start off by showing off some projects. David, are you? Yep, you're here. Let's start the holidays off with a Christmas card.
So a few weeks ago, they had this activity after the Tuesday meeting, and it was learning block printing, which I kind of got, and I ended up with something that you put ink on it and it stamps, and that wasn't enough apparently. I had to go big. So I decided a different project. I decided to make a Christmas card. And it came out reasonably well, I guess. I've never tried to draw a gnome before. The first draft was reverse of this and much harder. The more stuff you take out, the harder it is. So I kind of thought, well, okay, ink is cheaper than time. So I did this. And so far I've made 3. And I figured another dozen or so and we're good, and I'll run out of cards and I'll have spent, well, I might not have saved any money this year. But it's more fun than just picking one out of the store. So, yay. This is my great thing that I did. And it took a good bit of Saturday or Sunday, I forget which day it was. But it went. Yay.
That was great, David. I missed that class. Hopefully they'll be doing it again in the future. In the meantime, I want to try and stay warm. Kay, can you come show us your quilt? Did you need a hand? Oh, you've got a hand to help you.
Yeah. There's my quilt display first. Okay, so this ends the top, but I've been quilting on and off since I was a teenager, and but life got in the way and I hadn't done any in a long time. So once I joined the makerspace and I suddenly had room to spread out again, I was able to put together this quilt, and I didn't use a pattern, I just did math. But the good thing about that is that a lot of the math is already done for you online. You just have to Google it. So you can tell probably my favorite color is blue. And I used a wool batting, which I like because it's warm. But if you were doing this for like a kid, probably not so good because it can't be washed in the machine. It has to be hand washed. On the back, on the back, I got to do a little bit of reuse and recycle because this is just a bed sheet that I had. I quilted it with the Quiltinator, and I am very appreciative and thankful to Sue for helping me, for teaching the authorization classes, and then also helping me get the machine set up correctly because I was very scared that I would set it up wrong and ruin everything. I still have some practice to do with the quilting, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Any questions?
I got to ask, how long did it take?
Oh, a couple of months, which is not that long.
How much time did using the Quiltinator save you when compared to
I don't hand quilt. If I were to, I could try to maybe quilt this on a sewing machine with straight lines, which probably would have taken me a week, and this only took me the best part of an afternoon, so it was good. Yeah.
What made you choose the pattern? And then does the pattern have a name?
No, I haven't named the pattern. I just thought that this would go good with the fabric I had, so I did it.
That was great. Well, I am looking forward to doing a little rocking with Bob's next installment on rocking chairs. There.
Good evening. See if I can figure out how to show a picture. Let's see, we probably want to zoom in this way. Let's see. Maybe that way. I think that's right. Okay, so a few of y'all have been here over the past week, some of you haven't, but I'm making a rocking chair. It's a Sam Maloof inspired rocking chair. I bought a book from a guy named Hal Taylor, and making this for my sister's 50th wedding anniversary gift, and she wanted it, well actually her husband wanted it, out of Osage orange. I don't know how many of y'all have ever worked with Osage orange. I brought a piece right here. This is a billet, which is just a block of wood, and this is going to be an arm. I'm going to pass this around for y'all to feel.
It looks heavy. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I want to move that furniture.
Yeah, it's going to be a heavy rocking chair. This is the seat. In the process of making one of these chairs, I have a build list that has 66 steps. And I'm down to step 20 through 24 tonight. So that's what I'm going to show you. The seat billet, which starts out again as just a big rectangular block of wood, is 21 by 22 and a half. And the first thing you got to do is cut some square notches out of the corners. Billy, is this not focused any better than this?
I need to zoom out here.
Is it my picture? Maybe my picture's fuzzy. All right, I'll just, well,
The photos are top behind. Move the words out underneath it.
move the words. Get the words out. You know, it may be my picture, it just may not be that great. I'm a rocking chair guy. I'm not a photographer, but so anyway, you cut out some 3-inch by 3-inch notches in the corners of the billet, and then we want a smaller 2-inch by 7/8 notch up where the front legs go. And then I have all these little templates. This is a template just showing you the shape of the front of the chair after you cut it, and this is a template for the seat curve layout that I use to help me get a uniform curve every time. And this little template right here is just an edge template. It's kind of silly to have a template for that, but I do. And I'm cutting a notch here for the front leg and the side of the seat, and just run that through the bandsaw to make a rough cut. And then I use this jig, which a router will sit on, and you can see right there, got a router with a template guide and a down cut type spiral bit. And then when you get done, it's a nice flat square notch. There's my router bit that I used. After that, you take this 1.5-inch diameter dado bit and you run that around in there, and you end up with something like that. And then you do that on the notches in the back legs and the front legs, and you end up with these kind of tongue and groove. All right. How do I get that to go away? There we go. So you end up with kind of a tongue and groove setup for each of the 4 legs. And I'm just covered with Osage orange dust because it makes a mess. So do all these notches. Then one of the next steps is to cut holes in the seat for the back braces. The back braces are mortise tenon, and so these are the mortises. I have this template that Hal Taylor sold me so that I can just put my router down and use a plunge router to cut these nice regular holes. So you end up with these nice holes in a kind of a curved pattern. So your back braces end up curving around your back very, very nicely. I cut out the front using that template I showed you a minute ago. Next thing to do is to carve out the seat. The seat's a carved seat, and in order to get the depth that I want in all the different areas, I drill holes to different depths. I think they're 1/2 inch in the front up here, and then 5/8 in the back. Then I use that template that I showed you a minute ago to establish the curve of the cutout part, and sometimes it doesn't exactly work really great, but that's okay because all that wood's going away anyway. But anyway, this just helps me establish kind of the outline of the part I'm going to cut out. I started with this Scorp tool that I got a couple of Christmases ago. I thought, I'm going to try this, see how well I can cut out the seat. That's what these things are for. These Scorp tools it's like a draw knife with a curved bottom. It was really sharp when I started, but it got dull really quick because this Osage orange, if you've held that piece, it's not only heavy, it's dense and it's hard. I worked on this for about 3 hours, and I got about that far, and then I gave up, and I got my grinder bit on my grinder tool, and I was able to take it down most of the rest of the way. It's a nice little carbide, I think it's a cut saw grinder bit, but it makes so much dust. I had to put up a dust tent around my table saw. I don't know if your workshop's like mine, but my table saw is like the main thing in my shop, so it becomes the main workspace for everything. But I put this tent up to catch all the dust because it's a crazy amount of grinding. So I trimmed the seat, bandsawed the front, laid out the back brace holes, and I carved out the seat. So only 40 more steps to go, or I don't know, 38, something like that. Stay tuned for the next part. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I saw something on YouTube today where in the Netherlands, they are combining beet juice and something instead of salt. So there's red tracks. And I'm thinking, wow, is there any kind of wood that throws off red instead of yellow where you would look like you were covered with blood? Oh, Paduke. Okay.
Looks like paprika when you cut it.
Paprika. All right. Nickname Bloodwood. That makes sense. Oh, another wood. Okay. I can tell I'm not the biggest woodworker in the house. That's for sure. But I do want to share a long-awaited finished project from Tracy. At long last, we will get to see the embroidered globe.
Okay, I'll start at the beginning in case anyone hasn't heard the whole story yet. Like a year and a half, probably longer, I read a book I found online about how they used to teach women geography by making them embroider globes, and I was both offended and needed to make one myself. So, of course, I needed to make my own pattern, which I had to do a lot of math and was not on Google, so this took like, honestly, probably more than a month to make the pattern. So this is, there we go. This is one of the pattern pieces. So as you are aware, the world is round, is a sphere. So I wanted it to make an icosahedron, which has 20 triangles that are all the same size, but they have to be slightly curved in order to make it a rounded globe. And getting a 2D GIS program to do that is not very easy. So there was a lot of plugins and steps and pieces to go through to get there. The different colors, I wanted to embroider the ocean, and the different colors translate to different depths of the ocean. So around the coast, the dark blue is the most shallow, and the darkest brown is the deepest part of the ocean. My original pattern had them all in like different shades of blue, but then I couldn't read my own pattern, so I had to make it more contrasting and then write on the embroidery floss like what I was using. I also didn't measure how much embroidery floss I needed, so I had to reorder bulk packs twice because I couldn't find the individual skeins online, so that was fun. So this has taken me probably 15 or 16 months of doing this, of embroidering each individual triangle and the coastlines, and then sewing them all together into a globe, but I'm finally done. So I'm very excited. And here we are. I don't know if I can. That does not work. Oh, I guess maybe it does. So you can see Greenland right there. And then the different embroidered waves and the coastlines. I have to like smush it down. It looks nice if you don't look really closely at my stitching. Some of the seams are a little pulley, but I don't know, I like it. And I would pass it around, but y'all just ate Cheetos. So if you want to see it afterward, I will show it to you afterward. So I'm very happy it's done.
Oh, yes.
Questions?
Do you plan on displaying it as like maybe a throw pillow, or are you gonna hang it, or how are you gonna?
No idea.
Okay.
It's been sitting on my couch as a pillow, but I mostly just pick it up and look at it in happiness and then look at my mistakes, but I don't know, maybe I'll hang it somewhere.
It's absolutely beautiful.
What was the most tedious part?
The coastlines were terrible. They were real boring because it's white on white, and it was like all those tiny islands. That was annoying. Yeah.
Is Knoxville got a little star on it? You are here.
It does not. Someone else? Yeah.
Have you talked to any flat earthers during this process?
Well, someone actually came up to me. It was one of y'all came up to me afterward and said it would have been a lot easier if I would just made it flat like it's supposed to be. But yeah. Because it's the most. I felt like it was the roundest shape with all identical sized triangles. Like you can do it with 8, but that doesn't look very round to me. It actually started, now I'm going to go off, but it actually started with a different project about making a laser cut globe with 20 triangles, but I couldn't figure out how to make the pattern for that either, so I did this first, so maybe that'll be next. Anyone else?
Do you know geography now?
I went to school for geography. I can point out all the different countries. There's no borders on here for a reason. Thank you.
That is great. Excuse me, next we have Danny with plow fixing.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I was here a couple weeks ago, and I made a plea for someone who had a little bit more heavy machinery attitude than I did, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll cut it apart, and then I didn't know what I was doing. I've got this plow that I need to take these bins out because I hit a rock while I was plowing my field, and I worked with the metal czar, Joe Hall. He jumped in and said, I'll help you. And so Joe and I, 2 weekends ago, spent some time in the shop, and we cut this thing apart, heated it up, and bended it all back into place, and then he welded it up. And we've got a little montage of us going through. Zoom in on the overhead. And out. So it's a pretty big piece of steel. We got one bolt turned off, and then that bolt got cut off with the torch. That was right after. That was right as I said, "This is easy," and then we had to cut that one off. There's the thing cut apart entirely. There's the bolt that got sheared off and the chunk of steel. There's the whole blade cleaned off. And then there's the bent elements. There's another picture of the bent elements. We were able to heat the whole chunks of steel up in the forge and then wiggle them back into some sort of straight. And then this is, we ended up having to cut elements of it apart to actually get it all straightened back in order to put it back together again. So there it was sitting on the welding bench before Joe and I clamped it all together, and he did his welding magic to it. These are pretty big pieces of steel. There's the blade again, and then we just found a couple other things besides the actual frame here that was bent that needed to be straightened out, namely this piece back here had bent as well. So it was a pretty big job, and there it is on profile, looking all straight and newish, and then there it is looking from a quarter view. I still need to paint and slap some new hardware in it, and then try it out and see how many more rocks I can find with it. Any questions or? All right. Oh, we got one.
Was that hardened steel, and then you heated it up, and then did that?
It's like it's mild steel.
It's mild steel?
Yeah. Maybe the blade had a chunk of hardened stainless, maybe, and then maybe the blade itself had a hardness to it, but we didn't heat up and jump into the actual blade itself. All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Joe.
Danny, I think it'd be great if you brought us a picture of it all put back together and painted. Yes. All right. Before you find another rock with it. All right. Next up, we have Erica with a dress.
Hey everyone, this is the dress I'm wearing today.
That is so cute.
So the idea was from Pinterest. Oh. So that's the dress that I was originally wants to copy, and I was just want a very thick fabric dress to wear in winter, and it's a very thick fleece, like ultra thick fleece. I bought it from was one of my favorite store, Joanne. Unfortunately, permanently closed. So all these ruffle area was all connected by elastics. So, we can't really see here. So, in order to create this ruffle style, have to put like a short, very short length of elastic and then stretch it to super long and sew it to the fleece fabric in order to get this ruffle area. It's a kind of headache to do it because I have to stretch the elastic really, really strong to, I think my fabric was two times longer than the elastic. So actually, in the process of sewing, I have break like 3-5 needles to get this because I have to stretch it really hard, and then the needle gets stuck in the elastic, and then it breaks. It only takes if just the sewing everything together is probably only like a week. But I have stopped for a month in between because I have this skirt part. This part is really big and really hard to get the shape I want. I pinned the fabric on the carpet floor, so it's been on the floor for a month. And someday I just don't want that be blocking our way while walking, so get back to it and sew it all together. So I was pretty happy with the result, except one thing is I make the measurement wrong. I have ignored the length after the gathering. So I measured the original lines was wants to cover my hand, like to here. But then after all this gather stuff, it becomes half the length. So except that, everything is good. The only thing is if it's long enough to cover my hand, I can just wear the dress by itself, but not because it's too short. I have to wear something inside. So yeah, any questions? Yeah.
Have you thought about adding an extra layer, like to have another ruffle on the sleeve to extend it?
It will be, I think it will be too much if I have three ruffles.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's gorgeous though.
the original one, so it also has a flower. It has this little brown flower thing here, but because my sleeve is now too short, adding another flower will be too bunky. So I just leave it like that.
Okay. I think it looks great.
Thank you.
Did you make your own pattern?
Yes.
So
I just by looking at this dress and then taking my own measurement and make my own pattern.
What would the cost of that dress be? Is it a designer dress?
So on Pinterest, it says on Etsy for $307. But this fabric is 3 yards of fabric, and I think it was how much? Like 10, 15 per yard, something like. It was on sale when 50% off when Joanne sell their fabric. So I got it like 50% off, like $30 or $40 per yard is originally because it's actual thick, it's super thick fleece. Yeah.
It's still a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Thank you, Erica. I'm going to practice here. Oh, wrong way. All right, there we go. And I could also say something maybe to Lori, like, what the felt?
Hi, guys. So this last Friday, I taught a wet felting class, and it was so much fun. Probably more than me making something, I actually love teaching. That's one of my favorite things. And I like teaching the tools to make something and the technique, but I love it when people take it their own direction and make something amazing. So I wanted to show you what was made. So this was, let me move this. So this was kind of the idea of what I thought we were gonna make, and that's actually mine, kind of like Superman colors. But then somebody added, another thing is adding a lid and a little ball on the end of it, which was really cool. And then there was also, one of the students asked if we could make a birdhouse out of felting, making a birdhouse. And so 2 of the people did that. So this is one of them. And then this is the other one. I have this one live right here. Look at that. Isn't that the coolest thing? So instead of doing a round relief in the middle, we did like a teardrop. And then it was so cool because I wish we could see the inside. The inside is actually where all the color is. She turned it inside out, and there's like itty bitty bits of a whole bunch of different stuff on the inside. And then because we need to cut a hole to cut the relief out of, to pull the relief out of it, it got really big. So she crocheted a little ring and stuff, and then we made little balls with it, and it's whoops. And it's just the coolest thing. So I just like to brag on what other people make. So she actually made this specifically for the Museum of Infinite Possibilities, is doing a birdhouse show in February. So any of you guys want to make some birdhouses, and they're going to use them for birds. So, but this is just like really cool. So anyway, any questions? So it was wet felting. So we used wool rovings, and it's a combination of changing temperature and pH level in the wool to make, then you tangle it up. So you agitate it, you tangle it up with bubbles, and then you shock it with cold water and vinegar to change the pH level back. So super cool. So yeah. All right. Any other questions? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Well, from the sky, let's go to some fish. Come on up, Steve, and show us your fly rod sack.
I posted 10 days ago that my Trout Unlimited group was having a chili dinner and swap meet, at which we were planning to sell off a bunch of donated equipment and excess equipment that we keep for classes we have and outings that we have. And I got the steal of the day. Unfortunately, it came without a tube or a sock. And this is a really terrifying sound for a fly fisherman. So I came in Saturday to Stitch and Bitch, and with the help of Sue and Thea, using another rod sock as a pattern, I did my first sewing machine project. And so now, rather than having, graphite is really tough stuff until you hit it like that. And I've broken a couple of rods just from hitting them with flies. So you really want to protect them. You don't want them clattering around in a tube. So each section has its own little window that keeps the four sections separated from each other. And yes, I do this every time I go fishing. Fortunately, I had some thin wall PVC. I went down to Home Depot and got some end caps, rod safe. Any questions?
How long did it take?
I think I was back there maybe an hour.
That was long.
It wasn't long.
No, it was not. No.
Do the separate things go all the way the length of the?
Yes, they do. And I was really concerned about sewing a straight line so that the individual sections would actually fit down into their pocket. But it turned out to be remarkably easy. Thank you.
Oh, they're asking them to make clothes. I can see it now, full of fly fisher lures, right? I'm seeing something metal in the back. Do we have a share from somebody who didn't sign? Yeah. Come on up.
Hello. Does anyone like Mazzy Star? They're one of my favorite bands, and some of my friends had asked me for the Powerlight Halloween show if I wanted to sing for Mazzy Star for the cover band, so I did it. And for some reason, I'm still more nervous speaking in front of you all than I was singing in front of 1,000 people. But I made 2 of them. The other one is in the car, and there's no point in bringing both of them in. You say what? Wait, me? Oh.
Yeah, I lost it.
Oh, good. But I had to be lightweight, so I found a hollow tube, just welded a bunch of stuff on it. I cut this out with the laser, the plasma cutter, so shout out to Larry for the refresher. I didn't grind down the edges here because that seemed pretty dangerous. This is like a very thin piece of sheet metal, and it's a pretty dangerous, I don't know, need to put this up. But it's supposed to be a candle holder, so I wanted to make it like a romantic vibe thing going on. So I put the candles here and shine light on the ground down piece of metal. Yeah, and then I'll show you pictures of the show. There it is. And then this is what it's based off of. This is one of their albums. It's really good. Oh, that's y'all. Sorry. Yeah, and then here they are together. So I was singing in the middle of them. Just thought it would be a fun idea for the show. So yeah, that's all I got. Was there what?
Was there a particular song?
I sang 6. Yeah.
What is one we should all listen to?
Well, everyone knows Fade Into You. I don't know. I have so many favorites now. But I would say Roseblood, my all-time favorite song by them. Or Be My Angel. There's Blue Flower. Yeah. But they're very sweet. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that didn't get a chance to sign up? Okay, well, we'll just move it right along with announcements, but first I have a question for all of you. Was that food good or what? Yeah! So I would really like to give a good thank you to the 2 that barbecued. I believe that was Matt and Rob. So yeah! And to all the people who made the wonderful desserts and salads and vegetables. Oh gosh, I'm so full. Thank you to them too. But you know what's even better than clapping? To thank a person for cooking for you, and that's to help clean up. And guess what? That's next. So if there's any leftovers, I know last month there wasn't, but if there's any, please help yourself, take it home. We don't want to feed the shop cats. We'd rather you eat it. And then help clean up, please. We're all volunteers here. And if you see a trash can that's full, please take it out to the dumpster, the far one in the north 40 or south 40 or whatever direction that is. The one closest to the building does not belong to us, so we need to give it a little hike, walk off some of that dinner and those wonderful desserts. Then I'd like to also ask, since we're all volunteers, do you maybe have a lightning talk? Did something tonight inspire you, or do you have a project that might take more than 3 minutes to talk about, that you'd like to talk about for longer? Those are called lightning talks, and we would love to have at least one of those a month. What about a craft? I don't know if another wet felting class or some other little craft, origami, art. We had some art one night. The choice is yours. And we don't want anyone to be out any money. We're willing to help offset a small amount. Depending upon your craft, we will help out financially a little bit to get a craft that can be done in, say, 15, 20 minutes. And just let the rest of us explore things like stamp carving. I think that would be a great thing to do. We'd also, if you want another class that's maybe more in depth, check out our events calendar. I talk about ones for the rest of this month, but I think they're pretty much sold out. So just check the events calendar on knoxmakers.org, or in Mattermost, you can go to the events page, sign up for that one separately. I will announce one, and that's new members onboarding, and that's Thursday night. So if you're thinking about maybe joining, but I don't know yet. See, I'm an accountant. I want to know a little bit more before I sign up. You might want to come to the new members onboarding and just check us out a little bit more before you do that. But, maybe you came in the middle of chow time and didn't get a chance to get a tour. So in that case, find somebody with the red badge. We'll be happy to give you a tour of the shop. So with that announcement, I want to say, let's go out, get tours, and make some stuff, and clean up the food, please. Thank you.